1. Evil Dead the game is an upcoming video game developed by Saber Interactive and published by Boss Team Games, and based on the Evil Dead franchise. Will feature Bruce Campbell as Ash Williams, as well as Dana DiLorenzo as Kelly Maxwell, and Ray Santiago as Pablo Simon Bolivar from the Ash vs. Evil Dead television series. Put yourself in the shoes of Ash Williams or his friends from the iconic Evil Dead franchise, and work together in an action-packed game with over-the-top co-op and multiplayer PvP. Play as a team of 4 survivors, exploring, looting, crafting, managing your fear and finding key items to bridge the gap between worlds in a game inspired by all 3 original Evil Dead films, as well as on Stars Ash's original television vs. Evil Dead series. 2. Developed by Tencent Next Studios, Synced. Off-Planet is a new PvP franchise that has players fighting each other while surviving more than 1,000 nanos. Set in a future where humanity's mechanical and technological evolution has gone awry, players compete against other survivors of the apocalypse to secure resources for their daily survival and a chance to escape from planet Earth. Human settlements are now struggling to survive the new dangers of the world, while trying to locate transport buses that can take them off the planet. Officially unveiled at the NVIDIA Gamescom 2019 showcase, Synced Off-Planet will feature a massive PvP gaming experience with up to 48 players and over 1,000 corrupted nanos, human cyborgs. 3. The Last Stand Aftermath. From the creators of The Last Stand Union City in Edda, here comes a new single-player roguelike action-adventure game. After being infected by the zombie virus, you set out to explore the post-apocalyptic world and find hope for other survivors. You can still make a difference. Do not give up. The game takes place 15 years after the events of The Last Stand Union City. Most of the world's population was wiped out by the zombie apocalypse. A complex called The End is the last bastion of hope in Union City. However, anyone who is infected or exposed to the zombie virus will be exiled, under the community's agreement that any infected person must leave the complex. The player faces these exiled characters, who must make their last stand in the desert on their own as they try to improve things for the community they left behind. All the characters that the player takes on will eventually succumb to the infection or die by other means. 4.
It all happened so fast. Cody, get behind me!
Undying is a survival game from the developers, Vanimals Technology Company, Limited. Infected by a zombie bite, Anling's days are numbered. She must now fight to survive, not for herself, but for her son, Cody. She ensures Cody's survival in a zombie-infested world, protecting him and teaching him valuable skills at any cost. In this emotional survival game, take control of Anling, whose goal is to ensure that your son Cody is safe and can live after she transforms. Limited resources must be managed to decrease Anling's infection and, at the same time, ensure that Anling and Cody do not die of hunger or thirst. 5. A Way to Be Dead, game from developer Crania Games. A Way to Be Dead is an asymmetrical multiplayer horror game, 4-on-1, in which a perplexed doctor is on the hunt for a group of survivors who are just trying to survive. This game, where players can take on the role of Dr. Riley, the survivors or even the zombies, takes place in the universe of another title developed by Crania Games, Roots of Insanity. and it gives us the opportunity to see events from different perspectives. Players will be able to use a special ability that turns them into zombies for a limited time. In this way, they will be able to hunt survivors using special powers. As a survivor, it is possible to become a zombie too. If a survivor dies, he will turn into a zombie and will need to eat.
Six.
Jesus!
Horror game fans have certainly heard of it. If not, it is in production at the Cloud Game Studio, and promises to bring some different things to this mix, such as the fact that we have some monsters mutating in real time. The IL project is apparently a horror game in development. In IL, as in Resident Evil 7, the player has to crawl through a house contaminated with mutants. The highlight of the issue, IL offers extreme bodily horror, as in The Thing. IL does not yet have an exact release date and is in production with the help of Unreal Engine. The team's idea is to make a title that is easy to understand in history, that will have first-person vision, advanced physics and, of course, a lot of fright and brutality.
Seven.
Through a shared update on Kickstarter, developer Night Dive Studios announced that System Shock Remake will be released in the third quarter of this year for PC, PS4 and Xbox One versions are planned, but with no official arrival forecast, and a final demo is now available to all players via Steam, GOG and Epic Games Store. Originally launched in 1994 for the PC, System Shock was considered one of the main inspirations for the BioShock franchise, bringing with it a futuristic scenario in which the protagonist must combat an artificial intelligence and all the humanoid mutants created by it. In its new version, the title arrives full of novelties such as enemies, collectibles, maps, music, mechanics and a new generation look with DLSS support.
Eight.
The Day Before is an open-world survival game developed by Fantastic and Studio Mytona, has been announced for PC. The game is expected to arrive on Steam in the second quarter of 2021 and is set in a post-pandemic world resulting from a terrible virus. Players will face a post-pandemic America, overrun by infected hungry for meat and survivors killing themselves for food, weapons and cars, explains the synopsis. In the game, you need to find resources to survive. It is possible to loot vehicles, houses and even other players. The collected items can be sold and shared in survivors' colonies, where there can also be communication with other participants in safety. According to the official note of the game, there is a wide variety of realistic weapons, beautiful, dangerous scenarios and a series of challenges to be faced. As with other popular games of the kind, The Day Before includes fighting zombies and humans who seek survival at all costs.
Nine.
Back 4 Blood is a multiplayer survival horror game developed by Turtle Rock Studios and published by Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment. It is scheduled for release on the 22nd of June, 2021, for Windows, PS5, PS4, Xbox One and Xbox Series X, S. The game was considered a spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead, as it is being developed by the creators of the original game and features nearly identical gameplay. The game takes place after an outbreak where most of humanity is sick or infected and has become the ridden, leaving players in a post-apocalyptic world. A group of veterans called Cleaners get together to fight the zombies.
Ten.
Resident Evil Village is a future survival horror electronic game developed and published by Capcom. After a few years after the events of Resident Evil 7, Biohazard, Ethan Winters and his wife Mia are having a peaceful life, until the arrival of Chris Redfield, one of the famous protagonists of the franchise, who appears and somehow becomes responsible for upsetting the previously tranquil life of the two characters. During the game's presentation event, Capcom's Kellen Haney said that Ethan's world suddenly collapses again when Chris Redfield, an unexpected but familiar face, appears, triggering a chain of events in which Ethan finds himself disturbed looking for answers to Chris' shocking actions, and finally finding him in a mysterious village. You must use various weapons and items against aggressive opponents and add tools to your artillery for situations outside of battle. Resident Evil games have always been about escaping extreme situations. Defeat aggressive enemies with your own hands.